Hey everybody, welcome to Unfollowed, the Deinfluencing podcast where we talk about influencers, culture, and why we hate it and why it's so bad. And today we're talking about 5 reasons why the de-influencing culture is making huge waves right now. It's really important, so let's talk about it. Okay, as you guys know, I hate to be called an influencer. But someone made the point, rightly so, even if it was a hate, I don't even know. But like, Josh, when you show products on your channel, you are an influencer. And I get that, right? And so I want to make it really, really clear that influencing is generally okay, as long as it's being honest and being truthful. But there are really, really, really big negative impacts to influencer culture as a whole. And not just the products that people show, because I understand that marketing needs to happen for people to sell the products. It's a tale as old as time. As long as any medium has been around, television, radio, advertising has been a thing. And so advertisers want to pay people with audiences to show the products, and I understand that, and I get it, and I have a lot. I'm actually wearing some right now. But all that to be said, influencer culture in general, in order to get the audience to sell the products, that's what I disagree with, right? These people are showing you something that doesn't really exist. They're showing you fakery, and people are trying to stack up to something that doesn't actually exist. On my other channel, the Dad Challenge podcast, I talk about mommy influencers, daddy influencers, family vloggers in general, and how what's so dangerous about them is not just the exploitation, which is not just like showing kids private lives and all that kind of stuff and taking away all their privacy and all that stuff. That stuff's dangerous. But what they show you is so fake. And that's dangerous because people are being influenced to things that aren't possible. And so it leaves you wanting. It leaves you're saying that you're not good enough. You're stacking up against something you can never be. And you'll always try to strive for it. And some people will go into massive amounts of debt to do it. They'll make bad choices to do it. When it comes to like somebody like Dr. D Dozen, you'll want to cook like them, and then your kids will end up dead with heart disease. Do you know what I mean? So being influenced is a big deal because so many people are. I am influenced all the time. If you are chronically online like me or so many other people, I am so influenced all the time. When I see some cool tech gadget, I gotta have it, right? And it's so bad. But it's just really not the reality for a lot of people. You can't. I can do that, but not everybody can do that. I was influenced to buy a freeze dryer one day. Do you know how much a freeze dryer costs? Okay, it was crazy. I'm glad I did it because I feel great for prepping, and I'm prepping for the future. I'm prepping for emergencies. But those things, when you watch that stuff, like that's a very small community that can afford something that's around $7,000 to $8,000. Okay. And so when I talk about de-influencing myself on my channel, it's more about just kind of making you guys aware to the realities of what influencer culture really, really is. And so we got some points I want to read, and I want to talk about. There's a couple people who made some great TikToks about de-influencing. It is a massive movement right now that is taking place, and you love to see it. It's a pendulum swing. In society, in culture, there's a pendulum that swings to one side of the aisle politically, to the other in 5 years. And so we went so far to the left for the last few years. It got so insanely crazy that they took so many big steps, especially with children and education and socialism and communism and everything else. You're seeing so far left, that the New York City mayor, Mondami, who is going to be your mayor if you live in New York, is literally talking and making comments on podcasts about taking away people's rights to own their own property. That's how far the pendulum swung to the left, and now you're seeing a massive swing back to the right, which is more center than anything. And so that's what happens. It's inevitable. The pendulum swing is inevitable. The internet, when it came to child exploitation, the pendulum was swinging so far to the left when people started it. They were making millions of dollars until, and I'm going to stand on this, 10 toes down. Micah Stauffer adopted a child from China and then rehomed him because he had autism and didn't want to take care of him anymore. That pendulum started swinging back, and people started waking up to the realization that child exploitation is wrong. There still exists a modicum of people who do it, and there still exists the people that did it before the cancellation happened and before all the rules are taking place. But so far right now, that's a dying thing that's happening. Algorithms aren't rewarding it as much anymore. It's still happening, but it's just not as much. And that's a pendulum swing to people realizing what happened, to like, oh my God, that's crazy. When you become educated in something, you should change your mind on it, right? You should be like, especially if it's common sense, to be like, hey, that child isn't going to have any privacy for the rest of their lives. And so we should change our mind on that and make policies to protect children. And that is what is happening, okay? The pendulum in social media has swung from the place where everybody was on it for free, nobody really cared about influencers, and the influencers became a thing. And it is one of the most viable options now for people to make tons and tons of money without having a good education, without, being talented at anything, truly. Like actors and actresses, like you see Brad Pitt and you see these people out there who make, generational wealth. They're very talented. And so we pay our money to watch them because they are gifted at what they do. Influencers have made it so that you can be the biggest dumbass on planet Earth and you will make money. Rage baiting influencers are one of those things happening right now. With the shutdown of the American government, because I'm going to get political because I don't give a shit, okay? A little bit here. There's a shutdown in the American government where the Republicans are trying to pass what's called a clean CR, okay? A continuation thing, CR. I call it clean CR. That's what they call it. So basically they're saying we want to pass the funding to pay for troops, to pay for this, that, and the other thing that runs the government. And all the Republicans are on board for this clean CR, which means that all they need is, I think, 6 Democrats to vote for it, and then everybody gets paid. But the Democrats are holding it hostage by saying, no, we want to make sure Obamacare's in there. We want to make sure that the things that Trump passed in his big, beautiful bill are canceled. We want some of those back. And so they're holding a hostage. And people are like arguing about this. They're like, no, this is definitely Republican shutdown. When all the Republicans are cool for paying everybody, and there's the Democrats that aren't, who's holding the bill up? Right? But they're using it as extortion to be like, we need to get all this pork in the bill to get it back. The reason I'm saying this is because the pendulum is swung. Okay. And the reason I'm also saying is because now there's a threatening of EBT being canceled for something like 46 million people in the US. And that's a sad thing. Okay, guys, there are people who need to eat. Their children are going to go hungry, and that's not good. I'm not on that side that's like, well, you just get a job, because obviously there's a little bit of nuance to that. Okay. And so the people who need assistance should get the assistance. Okay. I know but in especially when there's 46 million people receiving assistance, there's going to be people that take advantage of it. Okay. That's just the government. That's just how it is. And it's the price you have to pay to actually support the people who do need it. Okay. It's just the way it is. I don't think that 46 million people are ripping off the government. I don't think 46 million people are taking advantage. I think a very small percentage are, and that's what we're seeing on social media. And so you're seeing these people rage baiting, like this toothless monster here on TikTok. Let me see if I can find her. She's a woman that has no bottom teeth. She doesn't put her bottom dentures in because it makes her look poor. But basically what's happening is there are people making videos like this.
For those of you laughing, I just want to show you something real quick. This is my upcoming pending deposit for SNAP EBT for November. If you are laughing at me right now because you think that I'm going to suffer come November, you better think again. Know how to work the system into my favor.
Basically, people are making videos. Let me see if we can find another one. This one.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
Trump done cut no food stamps off. If you're poor, don't have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids. Don't bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have 2, don't go having another one. If you have 1, don't go having 2 more.
Anyway, this is the reason I'm showing you this is because it's really important, because a lot of people are out there saying, look, I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to steal. I'm going to do this. It's EBT. So there are real people out there who are going to suffer from this. But people are rage baiting, influencing others by saying that I went from $4,500 a month to $600 or $60 and Trump this and that. They're using it to rage bait. And so influencer rage bait is one of the biggest problems in the world right now. Alicia Doherty on the channel, I talk about Data Challenge podcast all the time. She's a rage baiter and she uses her children to do it. And so influencers who use rage bait and actual things that are affecting people can kiss the inside of my asshole. Okay, there's so many people doing it who aren't actually struggling with EBT. There's so many people. That one that has the no bottom teeth, I don't know what her name is. She has like hundreds of thousands of followers. She makes money on social media. I don't think she's on welfare. She's just pretending to be a welfare person who's on EBT to rage bait people when there are actual people out there actually suffering. But there are now a movement of people who are on welfare who do EBT hauls. Because people are watching it. They're getting paid by social media and the government to do EBT hauls, and they're very proud of it.
Make sure you save some for you, because what you got is sacred. Some energy is just too good to waste it. Remember, the bigger the heart means the bigger the target. And Cupid ain't the only one shooting, so make sure you keep that
$1,500 EBT haul, just checked my card and had $12,000 in food stamps. So people are saying, hey, this is going to get me paid. Not only will I get paid by the government, this is trash behavior, by the way. Don't do this. If you need to take assistance, okay, I get it. I grew up on assistance. Like, I grew up on welfare, okay? And I'm not proud of it. It wasn't my fault, but my mom wasn't proud of it either, but we needed it. It's just the way we were. Till my mom also worked when she could. So it's like, she didn't just take because she could. She tried to work, and then when she couldn't, she figured it out. But like, I understand that people need, okay? It's children are going to starve without it. But if you do this, if you take from the government and then flex on the internet and then make extra money because you grow profit from an audience from that, you go fuck yourself. Okay, you're disgusting. If you can do that, then you can work. And if you're taking away money in EBT from taxpayers and you don't need it, also go f yourself. Again, this whole thing with influencing culture and like the EBT thing that's going on in the world right now is actually heartbreaking to see, because there are people struggling. And then those people who flex on this, who like, hey, look, I'm taking from also, you shouldn't do that, because there's nothing to be proud of when you're living off the government tea. Why are you proud? You shouldn't be proud. You're not. It's welfare exists to be a crutch for a little while until you get back on your feet. People who are on welfare their entire lives and just take, and they make videos where they're like, how dare they take my money away? Why are you doing that? That makes everybody hate you, and then people in general hate those who take it when they don't deserve to be hated. Do you understand how dangerous that is? Okay, so that was my big political rant. So here's 5 reasons, though, the world is waking up to influencer culture. The de-influencing trend, where creators discourage impulse buys and hype, has exploded on platforms like TikTok, amassing over 1.5 billion views, okay? What it is, it's backlash against traditional influencer culture. People are waking up to it, and they're saying, I'm not going to be influenced anymore, and we should be calling this out. It became its own niche market, its own cottage industry, basically. And it's driven by economic pressures and concerns, because it's so much more expensive to live nowadays, to buy things, to get groceries, to get gas, to pay electricity bills. And it's only going to get worse, everybody. And so when influencers are out there being like, looking off into the distance, pumping gas, you're like, I can't do that. Or they're buying massive hauls like Doherty dozen from Costco and Wegmans. Nobody else can do that. That is a net negative in the world. Why are you doing that in a moment where people like the timing is wrong? Again, feed your family, yes, but why flex on everybody? Why do we think that's good? Right? Because people will watch it. That's why. So here, demand for authenticity over hype. Followers are tired of curated fake content that is just made to either rage bait you or to just watch because you can't do it. There's a show called Entourage, and I love the show because you're watching a Hollywood actor, famous Hollywood actor, spend tons of money and live this lavish lifestyle you'll never be able to watch. So half the reason people are watching this stuff is because you can't achieve it. And it's interesting to see how the other side lives. Like the Kardashians have made a living off being a bunch of twats on the internet, and like showing you, like the other day they went grocery shopping, they'd never done it before, they didn't even know how to pay. That's crazy, right? But we watch that because it's entertaining. De-influencers expose overhyped products like Dyson Airwraps, Stanley Cups, and unnecessary, and they build it, and they're calling it unnecessary because it is unnecessary. Like I say that as I drink out of this cup here, this Owala cup, which you can order these from Temu for $6 and do the same damn thing. But what they're doing is they're not building. They built this trust up with an audience they built, right? And then they influence them in a way that they shouldn't be doing it. Like you watch, like especially like people like Emily Kaiser and all these Avery Woods and all these people like wearing and holding things and then the belt bags and everything, and that influences people. That it really, really, really does, and to a point where most people can't afford this shit, man. And that's crazy. Also, there's social media burnout. It's the endless scroll of must-haves and all these things that you need to have. Come with me to do this thing and eat this thing or buy this thing. People have been exhausted with it. We're being blasted with it 24 hours a day, and people are just getting sick of it. It's just like Taylor Swift. It's like anything. It's like Pedro Pascal. I use this example. Is there a movie role this guy won't do? Right? It's too much of a thing, and so people become tired of it. We get exhausted with it. And then people that have FOMO, which is fear of missing out, that affects them negatively because you're like, oh, I don't want to miss out on these things. I need to do these things because those people are doing it. And that's what I find is we attach to a level of success. We used to call this keeping up with the Joneses. And it was very rare. But some people did it. And now everybody seems to want to do that thing. They want to live a certain life that they see on social media that's not actually true or really exists even in their world. Getting sent a bunch of free shit isn't what that's not what really goes on. Just because you get, like, you didn't pay for that stuff, but you're shilling it, right? And again, I understand why people do it. But when they do these hauls where they get free shit, like that girl that got called out for like saying that she didn't get enough and she was a micro influencer, she got her first haul of free shit. That's, nobody else gets to do that. So we need to be aware, especially, and I know I'm putting myself in this, that you don't get that free stuff. And so when I pitch a product to you, I have to be on board for the product. Okay, I've been working with Extra Wallets for over 2 years now, I think a little even longer, and I swear by this product. Okay, I swear I buy this product with my own money. And so I'm not going to give you something that's not where I did a Temu ad, Team Up, once, and I got called out so harshly for it. I'll never, ever do it again because I'm listening to my audience. Okay? And that none of these people are. There's economic realities that aren't being met. With rising costs, many can't afford trendy hauls. Deinfluencing encourages to buy less and choose better, which I think is great. So they're saying, look, you got Daddy Snacks out there who's doing this thing where he'll like find a restaurant that's being called out by a bad influencer, and they're like, let's go do that. So it's like the counterculture to it, where these people think that they have a lot of power, and they're like, oh, restaurants hate to see me come in because I'm going to leave a bad review. Like, people who want to use their platform and be like villains, like, why the f would you want to be a villain? What's wrong with you? Why do you want to be a villain? Why don't you use your platform for good and go do, and here, let's go find a great thing out here. Right? No, they don't want to do that. They want to have power over people. It highlights how influencers fuel wasteful spending on items that underperform and expire quite quickly. There's a guy on Instagram I follow. He is awesome. He'll find a product and he'll be like, yeah, I want that right now. And he taps his card on the thing, and then he gets the product and he tests it to see if it leads up to the hype. And more often than not, it doesn't. Okay? Every 10 videos he does, the product actually lives up to the hype. And so people are being sent products and shilled products that aren't actually good, because they're being paid to do it. So there's skepticism from scandals and inauthenticity. Events like a mascara gate, where a beauty influencer's fake lash demo went viral, and paid trips gone wrong, due by backlash, have eroded trust. Viewers now spot sponsored content a mile away and call it fakery. So you can see it, and you have to disclose this anyway, especially on YouTube. You have to click this video sponsored button. They put the thing where it says advertisement. Matt and Abby is a couple that I talk about all the time. They're currently totally exploiting this miscarriage that they've had in their most current podcast. I think there are literally 4 ads that they read inside of a video. That's unheard of. It's usually 1. They're doing 4 now because they know people are coming to watch it, because they're wanting to know about the heartbreak, and they're being inundated with ads. So these people are selling their miscarriage tragedy to the highest bidder. And people are seeing, especially me, we're seeing right through that shit, and it's crazy. And everybody's waking up to it. And being de-influenced is a wake up. And if you feel better once you start seeing how the sausage is made, how these people are making their content. One of the things you can see how the sausage is made, when an influencer says, wake up with me, and they're like getting out of bed like this, you don't realize, and you should, that they got out of bed, they set up a tripod, they pressed record, and every time they walk in front of a camera, do something, they have to move that camera everywhere. Okay, none of it is authentic. None of it is. It's all faked for a camera. And again, there's a big shift right now towards sustainability. People are waking up to the fact that we're like, the waste culture is getting really out of hand. And it really is. Like, again, look at any of my videos on Dr. D Dozen. The waste this woman does in this household is actually, I call her a climate terrorist because of the waste. The food waste, plastic waste, the candy waste, the shit that she buys at the dollar store, the shit she buys on Amazon. All of it goes to waste. She makes boo baskets every year that are like $1,000 worth of plastic junk that no kids are ever going to play with anything. And she does that 5 or 6 times a year. It goes right in the trash bin, right? And she does it because she gets paid for those. So influencer-driven fast fashion and gadgets contribute to environmental waste. So rise of minimalism pushes people to repair, reuse, and question what your needs versus wants. So people are starting, again, the pendulum is swinging back from this overconsumption to this like, okay, let's stop doing that. Like that's crazy. And so here's a couple people who've made TikToks that really highlight this, and it's really important to watch.
Weekly, for the next 40 seconds, I'm going to de-influence you and bring it back to reality. Weekly or monthly clothing hauls is not normal.
That's not normal. Doing hauls in general, not normal. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, when was our big hauls, everybody? Christmas, back to school. That's it. That was it.
Being designer casually, like it's the same thing, like shopping at Aritzia, is not normal. Traveling frequently to luxurious destinations is not normal. Buying the newest tech gear as soon as it comes out is not normal. Right?
Little guilty of that. Little guilty. Not normal, but I do it.
Regularly dining out at expensive restaurants is not normal. I'm here to remind you that most people live normal lives, and that's not it. For the people that you see online, you can't see their potential credit card debt, you can't see their investment portfolio or savings, and you can't see their car payments. So remember that what you see online is just a sliver of the truth, and keeping up with the Joneses is not worth the stress and crappy finances that may potentially come along with it.
And then you've got these people being influenced in this culture like that I'm seeing a lot, especially in the dating culture, where women are like, you know, if he can't pay your bills, can't pay your rent, and it's like it's a transactional thing, they're being influenced that way too, which is negative. That's going to be a whole video in itself. Just the dating influencer trend world. It's crazy how much money there's one called Danielle Walter out there who monetized and capitalized off like 1 million first dates. And it's in her best interest to not actually find love, because when she did find it, which we think she did or didn't, it actually became a net negative. People again who influence on medical things. Like there's a family out there called This Is How We Bing 'Em, and almost all of their biggest videos are their children getting hurt, and there are literally thousands of their videos, hundreds of their videos of their children being hurt, and there's multiple part series. One of the kids just hit their face off the ground at a basketball game or something, fractured his face. There's like already 10 videos on that. So you're seeing this. If you have to make money though off your children getting hurt, that's dangerous. And so de-influencing is great. When you hear something with nice chill music in the background, a woman saying, you know, you don't going to Aritzia, I'm doing these expensive hauls at like all these expensive, that's not normal. This shit ain't normal, and that's the problem. People are watching this because it's not normal. And that's why it's dangerous. And this is Daddy Snacks. And this is the guy that kind of inspired me to start this channel. I really appreciate what he's doing, and he grew really fast, and I like it because he calls them out and plays their own game.
With me to beat a bunch of influencers at their own game. So 3 months ago, I decided to start posting consistently after an influencer told me that I would never understand what it takes to build an online platform. In those 3 months, what it takes is to get lucky. It doesn't, some people, it's just hitting the algorithm at the right time. It's almost all people that have large followings on the internet will tell you, I got lucky. This was like, whoops, and then they capitalized. Same with my channel. Okay? Most people got lucky. There's not a formula that works. You got something people want, and they enough people in the algorithm tapped into it, and you got it. I just started doing TikToks again because I keep getting banned, and I'm sure I'll get banned on this one. But some of my videos already have 500,000 views. It's really easy to go viral if you're giving somebody something or saying something that's important. Okay? But it's also lucky. You're lucky. Up over 500,000 followers across our pages, the press is now writing about de-influencing, and we are taking over the TikTok search results for New York City influencer.
I love it.
Meanwhile, our fearless influencer leaders have done nothing but demand I remove my videos, threaten us with lawsuits, and then block me when I refuse. You might be asking, now that we have an audience, if I'm going to stop, and the answer to that is no.
Good.
When I started this page, I told myself that if I was ever lucky enough to have a platform, I would use that to support other New York City small businesses. Getting to do that these past few months and reading the messages these businesses send me is worth way more than anything a brand deal could ever offer.
I love it. And so he's using his platform. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, he became the influencer. Yes, but he's influencing for good. Influencing culture in general, net negative on society. Let's agree to that. But there are a few out there who do good things. There are influencers out there who make crafts, for example. Right? There are influencers out there who cook and show you how to make great recipes. That's good. That's a net positive. If the influencer that you follow is a net negative to society, unfollow them. See how I did that? Unfollow people who don't make you feel good about yourself. Unfollow people who are showing things that are unachievable unless you're a millionaire. Unfollow people who are showing beauty standards that aren't achievable because they're getting surgeries that you can't afford. Unfollow people who use their platform to bully others that are just trying to do good things. Now, I bully these people and child exploiters. Okay, so I'm using my platform for good. So follow those who do good with their platforms and unfollow those who are a net negative to society. Does that make sense? And there's one here. These two girls.
De-influencing you. Bestie, I hate to say it to you, but your purse already has 6 lip balms. You don't need another.
We need to stop this, though. If you're going to do videos, don't do the influencer fingers. You stop doing it. We got to stop doing this shit, man. Influencer hands? Oh, my gosh. Influencer hands. I could do a whole video just on influencer hands.
I don't care if it's the new...
Like mannerisms. Like, I don't, like, oh my God, bestie, my nails, look at my nails. And when they started doing this, the hand movement started in influencing culture because women wanted to show off their nails and their rings. I'm not even kidding you. That's what it is. They need to show you their things. That's why when someone does outfit of the day, go off, man. Who cares what you're wearing? But again, people care. That's the problem. Right? But this whole hand thing, oh my God, that makes me mad.
New flavor. No.
But you don't need 50 different workout sets.
No.
In different colors. 2 or 3 are good.
Hate to do this. Ooh, I love my House of CB dresses. If you're going to spend $250 on a dress, you better have a lot of places to wear that damn dress.
Yeah. You don't need more than 1 reusable water bottle.
Think about this.
Don't judge me. But she's right.
Next conference or tabling event that you're going to go to, and they're going to give you a free reusable water bottle.
I get it. We're in lonely times. The answer a lot of people come to is, oh, I need a dog. I need a cat. Hey, guess what? Think about it. Got to take the dog out at 10 p.m. Make sure it doesn't piss on your floor. Oh, can't go on vacation without getting a dog sitter. Do your research, take your time, and do not impulse buy an animal.
No.
Yeah, and a lot of them do it.
The seasonal plates and cups. They're so cute, but if they're over like $15, $20, like girly.
I'm sorry, you don't need a glass from Anthropology with a pumpkin and a bat on it.
You don't. It's so cute, but you don't need it.
I like it. See, this is the culture that's popping up on TikTok, and I like to see it. And so that's really important that we understand how we're being influenced. And once you wake up to how you're being influenced, then you can start shutting it off. Right? You can start unfollowing these people because the only way to get this shit out of your algorithm is to unfollow. The other day I was scrolling, my wife and I scrolling TikTok at bedtime. This is what we do. Sometimes I'll just be honest with you, sometimes my algorithm is literally, it's just boobs for some reason. And Tyson messaged me this too. He's like, I don't even look for this stuff, but why are men getting inundated with women just completely like it's low level PORN, okay? And I'm not looking for it. I want my algorithm to be full of funny. Or sometimes you get that sad algorithm when you get into all the heartwarming stuff, right? That's what I want. My wife taught me. She's like, because I'm like, look what I'm getting. I'm scrolling. Like, why am I getting this stuff? And she's like, here's what you do. And my wife's right. She's smart with this. She's like, as soon as you see that, you hit the 3 dots and say, not interested in this. Okay? Or scroll really quickly. If you see a big set of giant balloons pop up in your front, scroll really fast. Because the algorithm is noticing that you're not spending time watching it, okay? And so I've learned to just like quickly go, right? And I've noticed that my algorithm has changed, and then I linger on the good stuff, like the Texas Bushman who scares the shit out of people dressed like a plant. I love watching people get scared, and so I linger on the content that I want. The algorithm picks that up, and the algorithm feeds that to my eyeballs. But for some reason, and this is going to be another video, the algorithm shows men different things than it shows women. Okay, big time. And it's by default, we're shown that stuff, and that's really dangerous. It is really, really dangerous. Okay, so what you're being fed is what you're lingering on. So if you just quickly scroll on by that shit that's like, come with me as I scroll it. As soon as you hear come with me, but you see someone making something cool, like fixing up an old frying pan. I love people who do refurbishing things or they build things out of wood, and I'll linger on that. People building forts in the woods, I'll linger on that for hours. Okay, and you can build your own algorithm brick by brick. You ever go to a funny video and it's usually something you probably shouldn't be watching, but you see it and you're like, and you go to the comment section to read the comments, right? And you see people saying, I've built this algorithm brick by brick. You can build your own algorithm brick by brick. You could teach the algorithm to show you what you want it to watch. And so if I'm getting inundated with literal just women and boobs, I will press it and I'll say, I'm not interested in this. Okay, and I'll scroll on by. I'll scroll really quick. There is a way to build your algorithm. So you find something you like, stick to that. And I'm not even sure you're allowed to click it and say, I do like this. I know that on Facebook and on Twitter, if you get something, you're saying, does this interest you or is this something you're looking at? You could say yes. Make sure you interact with that stuff because the algorithm is interested in knowing what you want to look at because it only wants to feed you what you want. Okay? And so if you're being inundated with this bullshit, stop watching it. Unfollow the assholes. Okay? Stop. But follow the good assholes. I'm an asshole, but I'm a good asshole. Okay, petty with a purpose here on this channel and on my Dad Challenge podcast channel. Being influenced is a big deal right now. There are kids in schools. And if you go to any school and you ask 100 children what you want to be when you grow up, 50 of them will say YouTuber. That's not a place that we want to be. Okay, I'm a Cub Scout leader. And I found out that there's a badge that has like a little social media icon. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to check in with the Cubs and the Scouts. And I'm going to say, if this has anything to do with social media, you take this shit down now. These kids do not need to be inundated with social media until they're but at least until they're 16. And the fact that we're letting these children on these apps is bananas. My kids are not going to be on social media. I don't care if my daughter feels left out from her friends who are all over it. I don't care. I always tell my daughter, you know, what do I tell my friends that she comes to me? What do I tell my friends that because I can't be on TikTok and I can't be on Snapchat? I can't. Tell your friends that your parents love you. That's what you tell them. My parents love me too much to let me on that shit. So I don't care how judgy and how that sounds. And my daughter probably wouldn't because she's so nice. But I'm just like, tell them that your parents love you too much to let you waste away on that and to be inundated with that. Imagine some of your children are being fed algorithms from like ages of like 8 and even younger, some of you. Think about what you're doing. They're being fed to the machine that young. Their whole lives are going to be on the internet. What are you doing? Right? So being de-influenced is, I think, people who are intelligent wake up first, and then as it spreads, those people start waking up to it. You literally have to be influenced to be de-influenced. Isn't that crazy? But it's a good thing that is happening. And so that's why I'm begging you to unfollow the people who are a net social negative to our society as a whole. They're not good. Okay? They don't deserve your platform anyway. A lot of these people are just thirst traps, or they're just, why are you following people that you're never going to be able to achieve what they have? And they're not even achieving what they have. It's fake. That's fake. And so that's one of the more important reasons we started Unfollowed. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, everybody. And on my other channel, I'll do this here. So let's do it here. Everybody take a deep breath with me. Important to breathe out the influencer shit. Start waking up to it. When you see it, start thinking this way. Start thinking that these people are assholes. When you start thinking about how dumb they are and how much they don't deserve it, you'll start being like, okay, cool, I like this. And then you start becoming awake to it, and you become a better person. And then you start living a better life. And that's what we're here to do. Teach you how to live a better life by not following these damn stupid ass influencers. I hope you appreciate this show, because I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time.